right, guys, welcome back to the crypto wave. I know it's been a long time, probably been what, 2 weeks or something. I apologize. As you know, I do this for fun in between my normal job. So when my videos get delayed like that, you can blame things like the Delta variant. My normal job, I deal with that day in and day out. I'll leave it at that. However, I came across some really cool stuff. Wanted to talk about Polygon. The Matic network specifically, there's a yield farming dApp on there with some more ambitions coming called Polyshield. But I realize that a lot of people may not really know how to get from their Ethereum over to the Polygon network. So this is going to be real quick. I'd like to keep this video kind of short simply because my videos usually run on. As you know, I could talk crypto all day and I don't want to bore people. So first and foremost, you're going to want to get MetaMask. That's the one I primarily use. It's the easiest one in my opinion. There's other wallets that can interact with multiple chains, but this one I feel is just the easiest because you can get it on desktop, but you can also get it on your phone as well. Once you have MetaMask, if you haven't done that, there's a million YouTubes out there. In fact, I think I even created one that tells you how to get MetaMask. However, get MetaMask, get it installed. Next, you're going to need some Ethereum because you got to move from Ethereum to Polygon network. Both interact very, very similar. Two separate chains, so you need to move your tokens or your Ethereum over to Polygon and get the Matic token, which is the same thing as Ethereum, but on their chain. It's used for transactions and it's used for gas and those types of things. Cool thing about Polygon is it is dirt cheap. I think when I first moved over, I think I bought maybe 15 Matic or something like that, and I haven't bought any since. It's just been lasting forever. It's literally pennies and pennies to do anything. So without further ado, get MetaMask. Next thing you want to do, let me pull up. I just kind of scribbled it down here real quick. This is the website here, https :/wallet.matic.network/bridge. That is where I'm at here with Polygon. Next thing you want to do is once you're on this site, log into your MetaMask, you'll be on the Ethereum network. Click on the circles. We've all seen it. The little circles on the upper right-hand corner where you typically switch wallets. Go to settings, go to networks, click on add network, and you're going to want to enter in some info for the Matic network. This is the Matic network information I use. Network name Matic mainnet. New RPC URL. Go ahead and pause the video. You can copy this over. Chain ID, Matic, and then the blockchain explorer so you can explore the Matic network. This RPC, there's quite a few of them out there. I find this one in particular seems to be working and is pretty reliable for me. There's been a couple that have been up and down, and if for some reason you're not loading Matic websites and things, it's usually this is the problem, the RPC URL. You just need to find a nice stable one that's been hanging around for a while that you can rely on. So all right, so with that being said, let's close that out. Actually, apparently I don't feel like dealing with that. Minimize this guy. Now, once you are on here, so this is the Polygon bridge. You're going from Ethereum, switching to Polygon. So that's where we're looking right here. I've already been logged into my MetaMask here, which has $213 on it. We'll move a little bit over. It's 0.071. So let's move like $100 over. We'll make it easy. So 0.35 we'll say. So I am connected to this with the Ethereum wallet. 0.035, $105 give or take. We're going to go from Ether to Polygon. We are switching. If you switch this, you go from Polygon to Ethereum, just like Uniswap or other things. So put in the value that you want to. I wish I had that much. Put in the value that you want to move. We're going to use $100 for purposes of showing you guys how to do it. You click on transfer. Moving funds from Ethereum to Polygon. Deposit of funds takes 7 to 8 minutes. What's not supported? This is basically saying you can't try and move things that are staked. You can't move things that aren't Ethereum. You can't move things that you don't personally own. That's basically what that says. We're going to hit continue on that. It is going to say the deposit in order to process this is going to be $13.91. I find this gives you a value, but typically when your MetaMask pops up, it's actually a different fee. We'll see if it matches. It's going to confirm once again, Ethereum to Polygon. You are moving this amount, which is correct. So we're going to hit continue. You should get your pop-up from MetaMask. It's going to tell you what they're suggesting. We're going to go ahead and confirm transaction in process. So this one, again, it says about 7 to 8 minutes. I found it's anywhere between 7 minutes and like 30 minutes, to be honest with you. So right now I'm going to pause this video so I can let this process through, and then I'll show you what the screen looks like once it's done processing. and then we'll go from there, and I'll start showing you what you can do and the Polyshield website. Gosh, I don't even know where we left off. Well, I kind of do because I'm looking at the screen. I started this video to do the transaction, show you how to go from ETH to Matic or Polygon. Usually takes between 7 and 8 minutes, like I was saying just before. This one took about 22 minutes. But unfortunately, as you all know, who follows my channel, I actually work overnights, and that's when I do these videos, and I got called away in an emergency. And so now it is actually almost midnight my time. So in reality, this transfer took about 4 hours. No, I'm just kidding. But let's see if we can't get back on track here. So after we did all those steps, we confirmed it, we paid, it says complete, transfer successfully completed, excelente. We can close this out. What it ends up doing actually is it moves the Ethereum over to Poly, but it actually moves it into Ethereum, if that makes sense. If you guys are familiar with any of these kind of sites, it usually puts it into what's called a wrapped Ethereum. So if you took the steps before and you ended up putting in the Matic network into your MetaMask, what you do is you come up here, go down to your Matic network, which is now available. We should have some ETH, and there it is right there. If you don't have this in here, you'll have to go into the blockchain, grab the contract address. We'll do that on a different video, but in essence, you can go to your Matic Explorer, pull the address just like you would on Ethereum. It's an ERC20, or in this case, I don't know what they call it, who knows, PRC20? I don't know. I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. I just know that you got to go in there, you got to grab the wrapped ETH address. So with that being said, now we have Ethereum within the Matic network. So once we have that, now we can start talking about this Polyshield. Polyshield, let's try and make it short because it's late and I'm tired and I don't want this stuff to drag on forever. Polyshield is on the Matic network, so you have to connect to the Matic Matic chain on your MetaMask. So once you're connected to Matic chain, you refresh. It's going to tell you what you're linked to right here. And then you're going to get the dashboard here. I actually had already put some stuff in here. Current price is 61. It's actually down to 61. It was 63 earlier today. But that's actually one of the things I want to bring up. So this is a yield farm. What do yield farms do? So all yield farms, in essence, they do the same thing. All of them have vaults and all of them have farms. The entire purpose of the vaults is to lock up supply, thus shrinking the circulating supply, so that if demand goes up, there's less circulating, price goes up. What do the farms do? A lot of people ask. Well, a couple of different things. You pair their localized token into these farms. So for instance, this is the Matic paired with Polyshield, and you can do that by getting liquidity provider tokens. I personally use QuickSwap, and I can go into that. That's what this token is here. Let's refresh this a second because normally that loads a lot quicker, so it might just be because let's connect here, MetaMask. There we go. So what are the purpose of the farms? Well, lots of different things. One, it gives exposure to other tokens. Two, it gives exposure to the local token. Three, it can help support the platform itself. People always ask, and I know there's people that are in the Polygon chat that were asking, okay, exactly how does this yield work and what does it mean by token generation, etc. Well, Polyshield, they haven't come out with I know they have stuff on the roadmap, and usually there's other kind of elements involved with this. Usually when these farms first start, what they need is they need liquidity, they need to hold value, and what they do when you hold that value, such as here, you have the 870,000 in liquidity. What they do is they provide you a token, in essence, kind of support of that. So if you were to do Shield and Matic, meaning you create a liquidity provider on QuickSwap is what I use, you will get this APR, or in essence, you'll get 4.36 a day. 4.36 of what you've deposited a day back in their particular token, so in the Polyshield token. So again, why is this good and why is this bad? Well, a very strong platform, such as PancakeSwap, if you guys have never used that, that has a lot of different elements, a lot of different liquidity. They also have a trading mechanism. So all trades, if you hold the token, you gain value. They have lotteries you can use the token for. There's a lot of things that they actually, they create utilization of those tokens. Now, Polyshield is fairly new. So their token at this point, looking at the white paper, It will have more functions later, but they haven't worked it in yet. At the moment, they have the burn function. Obviously, like anything else, a burn function is to decrease supply. You decrease supply, try to work up that demand. If you work up that demand, then the price goes up. And that's exactly what you want to do here. So if you are pairing your Matic and Polyshield, you are generating Polyshield token by supporting the platform and putting liquidity into this, supporting them as a whole, and you're rewarded in their localized token. Now, the more people who deposit in here, the more support you get. It's another way to lock up value within the Matic network. So anybody depositing their Quick token, their Matic token, Tether, USDC, this is wrapped ETH with USDC. It is pulling value out of the market, locking it into Polyshield, giving you Polyshield token in return, which is currently $61.87, and then also decreasing the supply of really all these other tokens by locking it up. Now, what's unique about Polyshield and what we're looking at here, and what I liked about it, is this is the first one I've seen that actually has this variable emission rate. Now, it's got this fancy dancy equation here, which you can figure out, but in essence, what does this mean? All right, well, under normal circumstances, under the yield farming on other sites, what ends up happening? You get all this money locked into it. You get these crazy high APRs. Now, these APRs, the more money goes into this liquidity, the lower these APRs are going to go. There's also kind of incentives. A lot of these platforms will give you these really high APRs with these crazy multipliers because it involves their localized token. Normally, when you go into these, if you look here, well, this is a new one, but so it's 10x, but normally these stablecoin LP provider pools and such are usually a lot lower in their APY or APR, and usually these are the first that lose that multiplier, simply because this, although it's locking up things on the network, isn't locking up the platform's token. And the whole point is that they want to try to drive interest into this token, and then as this token gets more utilization, it'll be beneficial. So, but with that being said, all these high APRs generate this Polyshield token on every block. So every block that's generated, or every block where Polyshield is generated, those people who are generating it, which is everybody in these pools, gets a piece of that that's generated. Once it's generated, they can do one of two things. Well, one of three things. You can hold it in your wallet and just wait for price fluctuation. You can pair it up again or throw it into a vault, in essence in a vault, we'll get back to that in a minute. You can lock it into a vault, or you can put it into a farm to garner more, or you can sell it. Now, the way the trend are on these yield farms at the moment, especially when they first come out, is everybody mines the bejesus out of these things and they sell it. So what ends up happening? You're mining every block, it's generating Polyshield. What is that doing? It's increasing the supply. It's inflating the token. So what does that do? People are just dumping on the market. When they dump it on the market, what happens to the price? The price dumps down. And that's where a lot of these things will start tailoring these down. They'll start removing these multipliers. They'll start dropping these APRs. And the tricky part is, and where some of these usually fail, is the want or the demand for the token typically is very high in the beginning. And then as people farm it and get their ROI, they start selling it, and then they'll even start withdrawing these LPs and selling it. So what ends up happening to the token is it tanks and gets less and less and less. So now you may be generating 55x at 1,589%, and you're getting a crud ton of these Polyshield tokens, but unfortunately, they're worth diddly squat. They'll be worth a penny. And that's typically how that goes. Now, every once in a while, you get a really solid platform. There's some really good yield farms out there. Obviously, one on Matic, Polyshield, I think is going to be pretty unique, and I'll tell you why. There's one called Adamant that's pretty dang good. On PancakeSwap, on Binance Chain, obviously you cannot beat PancakeSwap. It's just the juggernaut in the original. So anyways, let's get back to this equation. What did Polyshield do that's a little different? They basically said, listen, as the token price raises, in essence creating sell pressure, we're actually going to diminish the amount of tokens being released on the yield farm itself. So the per block generated Polyshield token that's going to be provided to all these pools and these vaults goes down. So price goes up, in fact, let's look at this again. As the price goes up towards that $100 mark, the emission rate, or the amount of tokens that are being generated during that time, goes down. So what does that do? The price goes up. Instead of still generating, 200, I'm making up a number, 200,000 tokens like other platforms per block, Polyshield said, listen, if the price goes up, we need to drive that emission rate down. In essence, it's slowing the amount of tokens that are being released into the market, so that people can't start just dumping it at those high prices. And so it varies its emission rate. At the moment, according to the white paper, it does it between the $1 and $100, if I'm not mistaken. But it does say on here somewhere that they can change the range, I believe. So that's actually a variable emission rate. Is actually a really interesting concept that hasn't been done, that at least that I know of, on any other platform at the moment, and it's held up pretty well. So this is actually, I don't know, a weekend. Like I don't remember when this exactly launched, but it actually held its price. I saw this get up to about $80 something, and then it's come down a bit. But it's been maintaining pretty well. Now, this just may cause a slower than usual trickle down on the price range, which is okay. And I'll tell you why. Simply because you want this to last as long as possible, the yield farming, especially as the developers bring in more utilization of the token. So you want people to keep their money locked into here, farming the token, holding it, locking it up in the vaults, driving down that supply. Token price goes up, emission goes down, then you start putting in utilizing this token in other ways. Now, I don't know what they have lined up. I'm part of the chat. If you guys haven't joined in here, I suggest you do. This is actually me and somebody from the chat talking schmack about American politics, but the chat is really, really friendly. If the devs really stick with it and they start bringing some utilization to this token, this actually could be the farm on Matic, to be honest with you. I'm really curious to see how it's going to play out. I personally have deposited in here. I don't remember how much. Let me take a look real quick. I think I'm in the stable. So I got about $700 in here. And then what I've personally been doing, which I usually do not do, but I've been doing it in this particular case, as I harvest this, I'll click on harvest, confirm that. What I have been doing actually is I've been dropping it over here in the vault. And again, this is kind of a, if you talk to most people that have been in crypto a while, this is kind of like a no-no in regards to, there you go, it's already come across. We're just going to deposit that real quick. It's kind of a no-no because everybody usually kind of freaks out when you're using the localized token. But there's those weird little unicorns that stick out. I don't know if this will be one of them, such as Pancake Swap. I mean, that thing has been a beast. I've been holding that thing since, what, $5 or something. So you never know. So we'll deposit that in there. Now, this video is starting to get a little bit long, but I want to walk one more thing through you real quick. Let me jump over here. This is QuickSwap. QuickSwap is, in essence, the Uniswap or the Pancake Swap of Matic. This is where you're going to do all of your LP, or at least this is where I do my LPs and trades and such like that. So just to show you how this plays out, because if people normally don't know, in order to get into these farms, you need what's called liquidity provider tokens. What does that mean? You need equal amount of the two coins that you're choosing. For shits and giggles, let's do... well, I guess I'll just do, I moved over ETH. Where's the ETH one? What do they have it paired with? So they actually have ETH with USDC. So let's jump over here. Within here, I should have my ETH right here. And we're going to need it in USDC. I actually have $52 at the moment. How much do I have sitting here? I have $100. So that's 156. That would be 50 something. Let's just call it. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that'll be 75. So let's convert. Let's just do $70 right here. I'm going to swap some over because anytime you do liquidity, and this is for anybody who doesn't already know, anytime you do liquidity, you have to add equal amounts of the two coins. So if you're going to do $100 in ETH, you need $100 in USDC. If you do $50 ETH, you need $50 USDC, or whatever the pair is that you're choosing. Once you have an equal amount of that, it doesn't have to be exact because the computer will figure it out for you, but once you have that value, you then can create a liquidity provider pool. And what that means is you're actually taking those two values, sticking them together, getting a single token out that represents those two coins, and you can put those into these pools, and then people can trade against them. So when you put them into the pool, such as the quick swap pool, people, when they come on here, just like I did, when I bought USDC with ETH, it takes USDC out of the pool, puts ETH into the pool. So anybody in that pool, their values are going to fluctuate based on that, hence providing liquidity to that pair. So let's jump over here. So I just converted it. Let's jump over to pool. We're going to add liquidity. Give it a second here. And we said it was going to be USDC. And we are going to pair it with the ETH. Let's see if we can't do max. Oh, well, I didn't figure that out very well. Goodness gracious. Well, the good thing about Matic, since I just dang screwed this up because I only have $34. Jeez, I screwed this up. This is what you get for doing videos at midnight. Let's switch them. So this takes pennies. You know, under normal circumstances, I'd be kind of ticked off, to be honest with you, simply because Ethereum is so freaking expensive, but Matic, it's like literally pennies, so that screw up really didn't make a difference. But with that being said, this is what happens when you screw things up. So we have 150. That's what my problem was. I had too much already over here. So we're going to need to kick back. Oh my gosh, let's just use a calculator, for crying out loud. Jeez, people. And how much was this? This was $34. Give me a moment. So we're going to add 34, 156. We're going to divide that by 2. 78. I was pretty dang close. So we actually are going to want to do 122. Where's my calculator? Oh, I closed it. Quickly in the head. That's I probably shouldn't have moved any over, so it's probably about $50, right? I have to go back over. You guys are witnessing me goofing up in real time. I swear I usually have my shit together here, but unfortunately, I am exhausted right now. So let's go back over to ETH. I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me. I'm trying not to make this video long, and here I am making it long. Come on, USDC. Okay. I really shouldn't have swapped it to begin with. That was my own fault, so I apologize. Good thing for you guys, Matic is super cheap and Matic is super fast. All right, let's go back over to the pool here. Let's give it a second to transact. Let's add a liquidity. And I apologize once again for looking like an idiot, but you know, what are you gonna do? Just winging it. All right, USDC ETH. So let's do maximum. So it's going to be 0.24. I have 0.28. That's fine. I don't really care. So it's going to be roughly about $72 in each. $72 worth of USDC. And then it'll be $72 worth of ETH. We're going to click supply. We're on the pool tab. We're on add liquidity. We picked our two coins. They're equal value. We hit supply, confirm supply. Those are the tokens we're going to get. I apologize. I'm zipping through this quickly. Give it a second to transact. We'll know as soon as all my money disappears out of here. Oh. What time is it? Oof, midnight. Sheesh. Come on, Matic. Don't prove me wrong. All right, well, either way. What we'll end up doing is we then come over here. Let's approve this contract because I've never utilized it before. You hit confirm. It actually costs 0 to confirm this contract, which is awesome. Once it's confirmed, pending transaction. Once it's confirmed, this particular farm will be access to me, and there it is. Let's see if my tokens came over. They did. So it looks like a really tiny amount of token. That's because I didn't put a lot in, and that liquidity pool is ginormous. Imagine how many people are using ETH and USDC in the liquidity pool. I should technically get 1.44% daily. That will obviously fluctuate based on how much is in or out of this particular liquidity. And let's go ahead and hit max. Let's hit deposit. Confirm. I will be generating Polyshield, so it's actually going to tell you how much shield you are gaining based on the value. Currently, it's got a 20x multiplier. Its average APR at this moment in the existence is 525, which is about 1.44% a day, and it's already generating, as you can see here. What I'll do with this, because I'm kind of trying to support Polyshield, I really feel like if the devs pull it off, and I hope they're not mucking around in the back end, but earlier today, one of the admins did say that they have some announcements coming out in a few days. Really what they need to do is start getting some more token utilization with this Polyshield and really sticking with this. If they do, this thing could be a juggernaut on Matic. So here's my volume here. So now I have $138 working for me. That's on top of my 719 right here. So I got just about almost $900 chilling in here, garnering me some interest. I will, in the meantime, take the risk and dump it over here, which has $91 in it at the moment, and keep trying to build this up to get more Polyshield, and hopefully this price point sticks. All right, guys, sorry for the little mix-up. Sorry for the late hour. I will end it here, but hopefully this was somewhat educational. I'll post it out there, and everybody have a good night. I'm going to go try and get some sleep, considering I'm on for the next 6 hours. Have a good night.